Welcome back to Infamously Speaking episode. I have no idea. I should really learn what episode we're on because I put them out. So I should know what episode we're on. But listen, this is the show that invites you to think critically, speak infamously, join the conversation. Before we jump into anything, be sure to like, subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you're listening to it on, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Show some love to the show, leave a rating. It helps the show grow. Share with friends, families, coworkers, whoever. And let me tell you something. I'm ecstatic right now.
I know where you're
I
going
am
with it. I was like, you got me
over
worried for a minute.
the moon. I'm not from Philly, but I'm feeling like an eagle right now. Cuckoo. Eagle Rare. Let me tell you something. We are not sponsored by the good folks at Buffalo Trace Distillery, but this bottle is so good that this is free promo. Okay, fittingly named because this shit's impossible to find by me. Number one. I mean, shout out to Quan. He put me onto this 4 months ago when I was in Connecticut, and this by far is my favorite bourbon to drink. I'm not even kidding. Like, warming up for the show, the glass is empty, but it's like I didn't have any. Check this out. Ready? Little show and tell on the show.
He's been wanting to demonstrate this all day. Probably since you got the bottle.
Listen, that was oh hell yeah. That was a decent sized sip. You saw it was in there. And now it's gone. It was there, it's gone. It's like I didn't even drink anything.
Yeah.
That's how good it is. It's so smooth. You still get a somewhat bourbon hug from it. I know you talked about that on the show. A nice bourbon kind of just hugs you up, warms you up. You still get some of that, but the finish is smooth and it's short. It goes away quick. It's not overbearing on your palate. It's a perfect daily sipper. And you know what? 40 to 50 bucks for a bottle. I mean, this is something that needs to be in your collection as a staple. And I'm so excited I got the chance to get it. I mean, you can ask Quan. Listen, that was a grocery store run that I really didn't want to go do. I had to go get some creamer for my wife's coffee. If not, it would have been a massacre for me. And I just so happened to, out of the corner of my eye, I've been looking for this bottle so long. I know the exact color scheme. I know exactly what it looks like. And I was like,
did they have more bottles?
Just one. I was ready to spend my whole paycheck. I was about to go home and be like, I was about to go home with bottles on bottles. Like, don't worry, tax returns coming soon. Woo.
You'd have been like, sorry, babe, no creamer, but we got the Eagle Rare. She'd have been lit after her coffees.
I should have snuck a little bit in there. Maybe she'll be more agreeable and more nice and fun in the morning if I do that. I'm just kidding.
Light the mood.
I'm kidding.
Matt sent me a text and it was just a picture of the bottle, of him holding the bottle. He was so proud. I was like, I'm happy for this guy. Because he was talking about it for like, probably since he had it at my house, about looking for it. No, excuse me. Let me reword that. He wanted to find it, but he wasn't actively like looking for it like somebody who really wants to find it. Like he'll stop somewhere occasionally, take a peek, see if he can get lucky, but no luck. And then, coincidentally, he stumbles across it. So, cheers to you. I do want to call out and shout out all our viewers. I got a notification. I don't know if you got the notification. You probably did, but it was like the most views we had in quite some time. Especially for the clips. Like the clip, the Peloton. And I was like, I knew that was funny. Like I knew that was gonna go somewhere, right? But yeah,
Peloton clip did numbers on YouTube too, by the way.
Matt, start us off. We've introduced the infamous introduction. So what do we got?
Infamous introduction. I take my kids to the school district here in this town that I live in. Mostly for my younger son Ezekiel, because he's been working with a speech therapist for the last like 8 months or so, just because he's a little bit delayed on his speech, and so he's been doing much better than when we first started. So that's all glory to God for the progress that he's been able to make. But those services that the people that we're working with, those services stop at 3. And so once they hit 3, they do this little transition, and Ezekiel turns 3 in July. They do this little transition. So now you start working with the actual school district to get stuff working. They could do like an individual plan. So once he gets into the school, they know exactly what he needs. what kind of activities he'll respond to, what they should be looking for, so that when we go to pick him up and have conferences, they could tell us what kind of progress he's making, stuff like that, which is really dope. Um, and so we're there and we're just having a conversation, and two things really stand out about this conversation to me. The first thing is, so it happened right at the end of the school day. It was at 2:30, and so when we first get into the room, it's just Nona, me, Ezekiel, Emmanuel, and then two of the people that work at the preschool. One person's like a social emotional therapist for children, and the other one is one of the preschool teachers there that works with people who with kids that have um, language or speaking issues. And so as this goes on for the next couple minutes, people start funneling in, more and more people. And I'm like, dang, like there's like a whole village here. So it ends up being like 6 people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that's crazy. And they're, they all introduce themselves very friendly. And so that right there was like kind of overwhelming, because there was just so many different people that were there to support my son, which I thought was really cool. I was like, dang, that's awesome that they have this kind of infrastructure to do that. And the second thing that stood out to me is, we were talking, and the speech therapist that that my son's been working with for the last couple of months was, she had brought up to us that we should get him screened to see if he's on the autism spectrum. And so one of the other people out of the blue brought that up. And once she said that, she was like, right after, she was like, before I keep going, which I thought this was cool on her part. So before I keep going, like, how do you feel? Like, are you okay with that? Like, have you heard that word associated with your son before? Because I guess sometimes parents get a little defensive or upset or angry when they hear that word autism or the spectrum associated with their children. And I just told him, like, no. I was like, why would I be upset? I was like, if that's what he's dealing with, then better to know now so he can get the help that he needs. I'm like, listen, I was like, I'll never be as frustrated as he is because he can't communicate to us what he wants or what he needs. So it's not about me at this moment. This conference is not for me, it's for him. And as his parent, it's not my job is not to get upset or get defensive, even if it was a failure of my own, why he is how he is at the moment. My job is to get him or put him in a position where he can get the support that he needs. I'm like, you guys are the experts. We came to you all. If that's what you think it could be, let's get it diagnosed. If that's the case, let's get him the support that he needs. And so I'm just curious, as the parent of someone who's had a lot of success, both artistically, academically. Just curious as to maybe what your thoughts are. Like, why do you think a parent would get defensive if they hear something about their child that might have a stigma attached to it? It could be autism, or it could be just they're just bad at school or whatever it is, ADHD, things that get stigmatized.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you for sharing. Right. We talk about all the time, like the platform and what we use it for, and just being able to share that. I appreciate you for doing it. Two is, I think that was really commendable for that, for the lady to ask how you were feeling. And three, the way you responded, I don't think I've ever heard anybody respond, and I'm sure they have, but I've never met or heard anybody respond of such maturity and caring and understanding of, it's for your son, right? This meeting is not for you. It's for your son, for his development, and how do we get him to be successful and really just improve. So, and that's a very great question and a very difficult question in one, because I can say how I would want to respond, which is take your route, and because it's very open minded, it's very um commendable in my opinion. Um, and that's how I would want to respond, right? I like to be positive, especially nowadays. Like, there's so much negativity in this world and around, that I just always want to be positive and do what's best for my child. So if that's what it is, I think the stigma, it bothers the people who either care what others think, or I'm assuming it would bother them if they know it could potentially be detrimental to their child. In a case of maybe they don't learn, or if they'll be picked on for that, right? Like, I think it's just one of those worries because we always want to protect our children. That if somebody says something, you don't want your child to be depressed or sad about it,
Right.
for whatever reason. So that's the only thing I can think why. But that's a phenomenal question. I'm curious what some of our viewers think. But yeah, man, that is difficult in a sense of me not understanding completely, right? Because I'm not in that situation. But I want to be thoughtful and mindful of those who are. And I don't think I think with anything and that you endure in life, if you could take a positive spin on it, and there's something that you can learn and you can help with your child or within yourself or your family, I think that's a blessing. For example, right? If you let's just say Ezekiel's on a slower learning path, and there is another family that you happen to run into at the school or at work or at the grocery store getting Eagle Rare, and you notice like the kid's not saying something, but no, honestly, if you can help them out
It's a
or
good
give them
family.
any advice on what you go through, then I think that helps. That's a great question, Matt. And um, it sounds like that you got him in the best position to develop and be better and get better with his speech and talking and stuff like that. So
Yeah. I thought about if I even wanted to bring it up, to be honest with you, on the show, because I haven't talked about it at all, right? Every time I talk about my family, it's like, hey, everything's roses. Or
yeah.
it's because we're the roses. Duh.
Oh
Obviously.
my God.
Yeah. From the Rose City.
Hey, call me Rose. Yeah, I
Can
call.
call you Rose. No.
Yeah,
I know I can't hit that. I can't hit that note no more. I'm not a youngin no more. But yeah, I really contemplated it because I'm like, dang, that's something I want to share. But then I was like, I thought back to last episode when we talked about why we do this. And it kind of ties into one other thing that I did last week. I'm not sure if you got the notification, but I was like, you know what? I made the decision to start posting clips from some of our professional conversations that we have on the podcast on LinkedIn. And the reason I did that was because this is it's a professional thing that we do, right? It might seem, like we're just chilling, shooting the shit. Yeah, but there's a lot of work that goes into putting these episodes out.
mm.
From the people don't know how many takes that we do, how many
Planning.
conversations, how much planning, how
Yeah,
many conversations we have off air, um, how much work post production that happens, how many clips need to get approved, and all this stuff, right? People don't know that, but it's a professional thing, and it's something that I shouldn't be worried or ashamed of if somebody in a professional sense looks at and views. And if they think less of me because of this is what we do, and this podcast is a reflection of who I am. So if that makes you think
mm.
less of me, then I don't know if I even want to associate with you anyways. And that's okay. Whatever opportunity you thought you wanted to offer me before, if that changes your view on me because you listen to the podcast where I'm being who I am, that's the way I'm going to show up at work. That's the way I show up in my house. That's the way I show up with my family. So
Yeah,
if I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, giving you a chance to see who I am, so you know exactly how I'm going to show up and impact your culture.
yeah,
And if that means you don't want that, then that's okay. But
yeah,
I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to be ashamed of it. Same thing with what's happening with my son. I'm not going to be ashamed of that. Even if it's because I failed somewhere as a parent, I'm not going to be ashamed of that. I can admit that maybe, I don't know. I'll find out through this because I'm learning things as we go. The,
yeah,
the program's not just for my son, but they also give us um, some techniques that we can do because it's very much a parent enforcement kind of thing where they
yeah,
give us techniques on how to get them to do certain things. And so if I could share any kind of expertise to help somebody going through a similar situation, then it would be selfish of me to hold that on because I'm nervous if people would view me a certain way.
yeah,
If that's how you choose to view me, then fuck it, that's how you choose to view me, and that's okay. But like we said, if it helps one person, then we did our job, and we could be happy with that.
and I respect that. I mean, I remember when you brought up the alopecia. I didn't even know what alopecia was. That was before Jada. So when the whole Jada
I
thing
did.
happened, I was like, oh, my boy got alopecia. Like, that's not a big deal. And he overcame it.
I
He
had
took a
nothing
few
as severe
shots.
as she did.
Took a few shots, but he
She does.
overcame it. And
Yeah,
I love that. I
one of the
love
most
that you're
painful things I've ever experienced, by the way. Just so you know.
Was it really?
Yeah. The shots I
I
had to
love
get in my
that
head.
you're able to embrace that though, and bring that to the spotlight, because everything we know, right? Everything in life ain't fucking peaches and roses or roses. So for you to bring that up, I think it shows the humanity in you. I always did look at parents that have children with needs. Like, I look up to that. Like, I respect that highly, because it's obviously, regardless of what people think, it's got to be a challenge, right? It's got to be more of a challenge than when you have someone who needs more attention or more of your time and love and dedication. So I think that, because you brought up, it could have happened because of my parenting. I think it shows a true definition of what a parent is, when even more so when you have a child who needs you more, for whatever reason, right? I know I brought this up, but when I watched that, the girl with her mom, and she has Down syndrome, and they do all the dancing and stuff. I love it because you can see the joy and the happiness from that child for just dancing with her mom and just making these videos. And she gets so much hate because you know she's dancing. They feel like she's using her daughter for spotlight, but you can see that the daughter is genuinely happy when they're doing these. So it's like, why even bring that negativity towards them? But unfortunately, that's the world we live in today. So it sucks.
You know, it's something that actually I was kind of thinking about that was kind of inspiring for me. And this is why I think we all love sports, and why we started this with sports was so everybody knows Ernie Johnson. If you watch basketball, you know who Ernie Johnson is. Host inside the NBA, one of the best, if not the best, basketball programs on television. He does a show with Shaq and Chuck and Kenny. And so he had a son who was born with muscular dystrophy. His son, Michael. And so he passed away a couple of years back. But Ernie was very open and honest about what that was like, having an adult kid that had so much need that couldn't really provide for himself. And obviously, my son is not in that situation. But I was like, if you can see somebody who's so successful, so many people review that, at the top of the game, everybody loves him. Everybody thinks he's one of the best to ever do it. And he could be so open and honest and be like, this is honestly one of my greatest joys in life, is being able to take care of my son. I'm like, and he's everybody views him at the highest of the high, right?
Yeah,
So it's like,
yeah,
why can't I share something? And again, my son's nowhere near in the same situation. Now I already know that everything's gonna work out. He's gonna be fine. He's gonna be yapping and talking that shit, no problem, right? Look at his
yeah,
dad. But
yeah,
that was something that I thought about. I'm like, you got someone like Ernie who has all this fame, all this success, but he's a humble dude. And he said that was one of his greatest joys,
yeah,
and so I was like, damn, like, yeah, if he could, someone like that with that stature and that clout can do it, then why can't I share a little experience about how it is and make sure that I keep the focus on what the focus should be, and that's my child and not my emotions or how I feel about it. Because at the end of the day, what benefit is that to him? He's
yeah,
the one who needs it.
yeah.
So
Very well said. Very well said. Oh, you mentioned no, right?
right.
That was the highlight of my week, my weekend. Um, it was fire. She got selected. She was one of like 4 students from her school. There's about 4 or 5 schools that collectively put art together, and it was a real art exhibit, and it's still going on. Like, it's going on till April 27th, I believe, where you can go in there, check out the art. You can vote what your favorite piece is.
Where's
Um,
it at?
It's in Stonington. It's at I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like La Gorja. It's a little building right in Stonington. Anybody want to find out? Just DM me, text me, whatever. Um,
Let's show
I'll
some
even
love.
go if you want to go. Like it's fire. I was actually just telling Adiana about it because his daughters are very artistic, and I feel like they would like that. I the piece I like the most is that it was a real exhibit, so she got to experience that as an artist, right? So we talked about going to a few different places now, so she can experience it as like a consumer or someone who's viewing the art itself. But it was dope. She got a little interview. She did a fire piece of a cherry blossom in the middle of a river. And there was a stork, or there was a bird to the side, and it was like some fire around. But it's good to see that the smile on her face. Number one, she was very proud of what she did, and we always encourage her to do her art. But because she's so artistic and creative, um, I also understand like you gotta be in that mood, right? Sometimes you can flip it like that, but most people you gotta like want to paint or want to draw. You can't just be like, all right, let me sit down or let me draw at 2 o'clock. Like that's not usually how it works.
Or you can't schedule that shit.
Yeah, but it was her way of expressing herself, which is what she said. And she named the painting. The name of the painting was fire. It was like Serenity Within Rage or something like that. I gotta double check, but um, she did a phenomenal job. All the students did a phenomenal job. There was a couple pieces I was like, I don't know, but that's the dope thing about art, right? Like people like other people could like things that we don't really see, and it's a perspective thing where you can look at the same painting as that I did of Nose and take something away from it that I didn't. I think that's always what I enjoyed about art. It's just kind of like what you feel, what you take away from that piece. There was one that was called like Wounds Never Heal or something, and it was like on 3 pieces of wood, right, stacked, and in the middle was like she used like it looked like a necklace, but it looked like chains and tangled. So like all the pain that they might have, it still holds her down. It was fire. Like it was, and these are high school students with this kind of artistic thoughts. And I was like, this is, I had a great time. Long story
I could
short, and
tell.
I'm
I could
happy.
tell just
No,
the way that you're doing, just talking about it, man. That's
yeah,
dope.
it was good, and I was very happy, and I was proud to see No like that. I gotta post that actually. I didn't post it. I was just enjoying the moment. And what's even dope was like when we walked back to the car, the sun was setting, and it was in Stonington, so you got the water right there. Beautiful. It was like,
You're inspired.
yeah, I was inspired.
So I
I
think
can't
another form of art that I think another, I mean impacts people so differently is, music does very similar things, right? Like
Yes.
we could listen to the same track and just based on our life experiences or whatever, we might interpret a line differently, or we might connect it with a different kind of core memory of something. And there's certain songs that bring certain emotions for everybody. And so um, I think that's dope that
Yeah.
she's able. Some people do it through music. Some people are able to turn that into something you can visualize in an art form. And I'm not really great at either, to be honest with you. So credit to the people that can do that, because that takes a lot of talent.
Did you
And
know
the
I
fact
got?
that she was able to do that in like 2 hours is crazy. Like she was like, "Yeah, I just figured I would just throw some shit on the canvas and see what stuck and see what
So
inspired me."
if you talk to my mom, she'll be like, "Oh, Quan could have went to college and did this," which I could have because they did select me, but I don't know if they select everybody. But it was Lyman Arts Academy. Um, they wanted me to go there because I was good with art when I was in school. Um, but it got away from me. Like I was too. I love sports way too much, and there was no college that wanted me to sports. But that's another thing I went to this last week. I went to the state championship games. I seen St. Bernard versus they played West Haven, Notre Dame, West Haven. And West Haven got a kid. I guess he's in the top 50 in the country, and
That's
he balled
crazy.
out. And St. Bernard's did lose, but they played. They played hard. That was their second state championship they went to. A third, excuse me. That team, and they lost to them twice. So 2 years. So it was a little disappointing, but it was it was cool. But the next day was New London versus Manchester. They played Manchester, and Manchester was ranked number one in the tournament. London was 3, and that was one of the best basketball games I've been to ever. Like it was
On any
phenomenal
level?
on any level, bro. It was back and
That's
forth.
crazy.
It was entertainment. Shout out to my guy Eric Robinson, his son JJ. Crossed this kid, made him fall, made the kid fall, went to the basket, dumped it off to the big man, had a layup. Like it was fire. The game was back and forth, back and forth. London had a chance to win, and they just they they missed a 3-pointer at the end, and they didn't get it done. But the game was fire. It's funny because when I went to the St. Bernard game, there was so many people. I had to sit on like a top, like it was packed. So the
Really?
London game, I was off, so I was able to kind of secure a seat sooner. But I figured like I gotta sit wherever I can because there's like tons of people coming in. I didn't realize I was in the Manchester side. I got all this green and gold on and shit.
Oh damn! These are the
Ray
ops.
calls me. Yeah, Ray calls me. He's across the thing. He's like, "What are you doing over there?" I'm like, "Yo, you know me, man. I like being in the trenches when shit goes down." I was
Get it
talking.
out the mud.
Owie was in the front, like the row, like ahead of me. And the game was entertaining, bro. So it was going back and forth. But every time something popped off, we was like standing up, let's fucking go, like and ones and shit. It was a vibe, and I was actually sitting next to Bug, and Bug is from like the Hartford area, so he was obviously going from Manchester, and we was bantering back and forth. But it was a good game. Respect to Manchester, they pulled it off. They played clean. They hit some big threes. There was a point when New London was about to go up 10. I think they went up 9. And then the guy just came down, hit a big three, big momentum changer. It was a hell of a game, bro. Completely entertaining. I'd pay for like a regular NBA ticket to watch that game if I knew it was gonna be that entertaining all the time.
I think there's just a different level too when it's it's your city. There's just a different
Yeah,
level of buying, and not only that too, but just at that like the high school age where the kids are truly playing for the joy of the game.
yeah,
There, of course, like you said, that kid that St. Bernard's played that was top 50 in the country, right? He got something going on beyond the high school level. Seriously, at the high school level. Not saying that guys that go do D2, D3, whatever won't make it, but obviously he got eyes on him. But
yeah,
these kids are just playing because they love the game of basketball. And
yeah,
so there's nothing else attached to it. No money, no fame, nothing. They just want to put on for the city that's on the front of their jersey and talk that shit. And that's what
yeah,
and I think there's just something so inspiring about it. That even makes, people that were alums of the school fired up because they remember
yeah,
when they were in that jersey doing the same thing, and that kind
yeah,
of just like relights fires. Like I remember we was playing in big games like this, and we was just it was bucket for bucket,
yeah,
and especially when it's good defense getting played. Like those are the best games, and I think
yeah,
that's why that's what everybody's hoping the NBA gets back to. Where
yeah,
you got like a 90 to 88 game, and people are just getting difficult buckets down the
yeah,
stretch,
yeah, yeah. It was
back
it
and
was
forth.
so New London was down by like 8 with like 3 or 4 minutes left. Like it was looking. It looked like it could have got out of hand. But they finally went to the trap, and I told, I was like, why didn't I expected them to go to that sooner because New London's always pretty known for their tenacious defense and just being fast. So I didn't know why they didn't go to it sooner because when they started trapping, they got like 3 turnovers in a row. It just happened so fast.
Yep.
The Manchester kids wasn't responding correctly at first. They obviously made adjustments, but the trap was working. Yeah, and you know what else I could appreciate while I went to these games, and it made me think about it to talk about on the show is how and why we love sports. Also, is because it just brings everybody together, bro. It doesn't
Yep.
matter, your age, your sex, your race. None of that matters because you're all rooting for that common goal, which is to see your team win, right? So
Yep.
I think it's even sitting amongst the ops, right? Like, there was banter back and forth, but it was respectful, and
Right.
it still brought us together in that moment. So it was pretty cool to be in that environment and kind of just embrace that type of environment. I'm definitely getting old because back in the day, I'm like, nah, fuck that, fuck them, and
No, but I mean, it's real. Like, I think about a moment in sports history. I forget which World Cup team it was, but it was a U.S. men's world because the women always cook up, but the men were always outclassed. And so,
you
but
talking
it
about
was
when they did good.
when they made a deep run, and like
Yeah,
there was
they
people
had
that
we
didn't
had that
watch,
goalie that was like stopping everything.
right? And like the chant was like, "I believe that we will win," and like people that didn't even fuck with soccer in the slightest were tuning into it because
Yeah,
it gave the whole country, it unified a whole country
yeah,
behind a common goal. And like even people that didn't give a shit about sports, soccer, they were tuning in, talking about it. I'm just like, that's the power of it. When
yeah,
you put because the U.S. team is diverse, right? They got people from all Asian, black, white, all kinds of people, right? Because Americans are so diverse. So it didn't matter who it was, what country, what they look like. 1 second, come on. Oh shit, it's right there. There you go. Bye, Ezekiel. See you later. Bye. Oh, let me get rid of him. Come on, buddy. He's popping off.
see, I hear.
Yeah, but that was dope. Just seeing that level of engagement, from everybody. Like you said, that sports is just such a unifying thing that regardless of what it is, who you are. I bet you said something similar too whenever you would hit the cigar lounge, it was like that, where you would just meet people that you would never interact with probably
Yeah,
in any other setting. It's just that
not for sure.
commonality. We know I was thinking about this. So Nona watches, I think she just started. Or I just noticed that she was watching this guy who he reacts to like social media beef and drama and shit like that. And I'm like, why do we make certain people famous? Why do we do it? Like,
Yeah, the hot tour girl.
yeah, it's like, I mean, listen, I'm not gonna knock anybody's hustle or shine, right? That's not what we do here. To each their own. Good for you. But like, you take a thing, it's like, how crazy are we that there's so much knowledge that we could put to use out on the internet? Yet
Yeah,
this is what we're watching. We're watching two people beef on social media because this person said this and this person did that. And that's what we care about. I mean, Drake said it. He said, "Look at the way we live. I wasn't hiding my kids from the world. I was hiding the world from my kid." It's been a while.
this guy.
It's
Sometimes
been a
I don't know
while.
about you. Sometimes
It's
I
been a
don't know
while, but
about
I'm
you.
back. I'm back. I'm back. Those quotes, people would always wait. You know what? I used to get a lot of love for that. I'd be like, yo, this guy got a Drake quote for everything.
Yeah,
I
he
haven't
was
been listening to
nervous.
his music like that. I was nervous.
Yeah, he said it. He was
Well, I don't
nervous.
want people to think that I'm down with all the other shit. You know what I mean? That he be doing.
The thing is like, like the Hawk tour shit. That wasn't really her plan. Like she just was interviewed on the street and it
Nah,
happened.
and she
But
was
it's
probably
crazy because
lit
like Gmo will talk about it like, yo, it's crazy how in an instant she's a millionaire, multi-millionaire
for
off of
saying
that.
that she's wild, for literally saying that she's wild fallacious.
Yeah,
Imagine that.
crazy.
Now, if I said I was wild fallacious, which I'm not throwing that out there. I am not. Do not hit
Yo, if
me
you
up.
put out that Valentine's video of what you said, you might go viral.
What did I say? Oh yeah, I wilded out.
Yeah, you are.
I was like Shannon Sharp, but without the grunting and the moaning.
And that was the episode Tone was out here sleeveless.
Sleepless in Seattle.
That was wild. That was a wild show. Good
Yo,
thing you
top
didn't put that
five.
up.
Tone, man, we need you back. That was a great. I
No,
will
we
give
don't
him
need
credit.
Tone though.
No, I'll give him credit. Whenever he's on the show, funny shit happens.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
But it's usually because he be showing up to the show
And
in
his
a
takes is
silky
crazy.
in a silky with a tank top on with fucking olive oil on his arm.
With the G Unit tank top was crazy. Even when them shits came out, they weren't
He's like,
popular.
go.
Yeah, man. You know,
The G Unit tank top is crazy.
yeah, he's a wild guy. He said his favorite artist of G Unit was Young Buck.
Nah, don't do him like that. Don't do
Oh,
him like that.
damn, I got a fresh cut today. Shout out to Adion.
Yo,
Yo, he
that's
shaved my
someone we got on the
mustache
show.
down. Like, he brought it down. And I look younger. And it's funny because I asked him to do it because on the last episode you put out, my mustache looked wild. I look like fucking Splinter.
Like the rap from Teenage Mutant Ninja
Yeah.
Turtles.
Shit was all uneven and fucking.
He was about to get some wisdom.
I gave wisdom. I tend to give a lot of wisdom on this show. That's what a lot of people tell me. They're like, "Quite, I didn't know you were so educated and like wise." I'm like, yeah, came with the age.
Name one person.
No,
Kid don't count.
why?
That's like your mom calling you handsome.
My mom would never. Oh,
Yeah, that is sad. Bro.
no, I'm just messing. I'm just messing around.
Nah, that was personal.
Huh?
That was Michael Jordan level of personal.
Yeah, man.
That is crazy. I did want to ask you this. Another quick hitter question.
I like this question. I like people like that we had, like we switched up a little bit on the show, and I told you that we should do that because we could only talk about ourselves so much. That's why we want to have you guys on. I don't understand. Kareem, I got mad love for you, man. Still ain't hear from you. He's been ignoring me.
That's what we spend the rest of the show doing, just calling people out. You mentioned Adion. I think it would be great to have him on.
Adion? He's too scared.
Wow.
He's scared. I think he's
Ray?
scared. Huh?
Where's Ray? Ray not scared.
Ray would definitely get on the show. I think if we called Ray now, he'd probably get on the show.
So I did want.
I've been asked Adion to get on. It's funny because he got on Paul's show, and that's his cousin. So and I think he did it at the barbershop. Because remember we talked about doing it there a few times.
Oh yeah, and shout out to him because he was more than welcome to open his doors.
Yeah, for sure.
But that was right after we signed the contract, right? With the lounge. But I wanted to ask you this because we talked about art, music, and just how that's a form of expression. I was in a meeting last year in Kansas, and it was a team meeting, and it was kind of like an icebreaker because there were some new people on there. I had recently joined. There's a couple other people that were kind of newer to it, and so we're like, hey, let's do this icebreaker, just to kind of get to know more about each other. And they're like, if you had classic thing, right? If you played baseball, you had a walk-up song, what would your walk-up song be? So I want to know if you had to pick that song that really got you ready to just absolutely go sicko on whatever. I need to get in the mood because I got to kill something right now. What is that song? What's that song to express yourself? And I can go first if you want.
No, it's probably that DMX that we right here.
I love that song.
We ain't going anywhere. We right here. That shit. Definitely something from the Locks. That shit always gets me going. Like Wild Out gets me going.
Wow.
We used to when we won the flag football championship, we would always play "Ain't Worried About Nothing." That was like the theme song we played that whole season because we wasn't worried about nothing. We was out there cooking. So yeah,
we pulling up and running shit. Ain't gotta worry about it. Ain't worry about. We ain't worry about nothing. I love that pick. I love the DMX pick too. That's probably like an all-time favorite gym song.
Yeah.
When that shit comes on, it's time to turn up. And it's crazy. It's not one of DMX's like hype songs. When you think about him, like you think about Where the Hood At and X Gonna Give It To You.
Yeah.
Like, those are the songs that would get people pumped up. But we right here. We're not going anywhere. It's that last set.
Let's go.
You know what I mean, we ain't going nowhere. That's what that last set is telling you. Like, I ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere till you bang this last set out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's just fire. So for me, there was a toss up between that song, but I ended up going with "Takeover" by Jay-Z. Number one, I just fuck with Yeah, I just love the beat. Number one,
Beat
like
is
it just
fire.
gets you hyped up. But
I'm surprised. You surprised me with that
we
one.
taking over. We taking over, and of course, the last bar is one of my favorite. Feel the nigga fuck with
Oh,
Jiggy, you only get half a bar. Fuck y'all
yeah,
niggas.
yeah, 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 yeah,
That's the feeling. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you think you can fuck with me? All right. And I'm not gonna come out. Obviously, I'm not gonna come out and say that in a professional sense, but like that's my
Yeah,
mindset. Like
yeah, yeah. I get what you're
whenever
saying.
someone tells me, you know, like you're working against stuff, you don't really know what this entails, the amount of work you got to do, whatever it is,
Hmm.
or from a sports perspective, like these guys are bigger than you, they're stronger than you, they're faster than you. It's like they don't got heart like this though. Check this shit out. They ain't gonna
Yeah,
work harder than me. So they think
that's
you
a good.
fuck with me? They don't fuck with me? They only get half my time because they ain't working with what I'm working with. Period.
Yeah, I was talking to someone and she was telling me how her son, the whole team has like a walkout song. I was like, that's fire. Wish I had that when I was playing. I would have came
A
out
walkout.
like crazy.
It's crazy the mood that a track could get you in.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I mean, people know you play it for the gym. You play it when it's time to get busy. You know, you put on music. It's go time. So
Da-da-da, da-da.
now that definitely ain't bedroom music.
They were just
That ain't.
asking. They were just asking if you was to do karaoke, what is the song you're gonna do? And that was the
That's
song
it.
I chose. I sing that
That's the
song
song.
every karaoke.
That's the song. Yo, you know what's crazy about it? And I'm not gonna say the person's name, but they hit me up first thing, and I think it was Monday. Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah, so Monday, first thing Monday, because I like I said earlier on the show, I was gonna start posting clips to LinkedIn, and so they hit me up on Monday. It was like, yo, I saw your shit on LinkedIn, started listening to the pod, had me rolling, and someone I work with, and I was like, yo, I appreciate that. I appreciate you for hitting me up. That's dope that you were able to find enjoyment in the pod. I appreciate the love. But the reason why this whole karaoke shit, so this individual is crazy with karaoke, nasty with it. And so I was in Colorado last year, or no, 2 years ago, on another work trip, and this person was on my team back then. And we was doing like car karaoke, and it was their turn to come on, and they put on Anaconda by Nicki Minaj.
Mm.
Bro, and when I tell you,
You was cooking.
no, I wasn't cooking.
You was
Hell,
cooking.
hell, I wasn't
You was
cooking.
cooking. You was
They
cooking.
ate that shit up, bro, down to the fucking ad libs, bro. To the
That's
ad
crazy.
libs. They was cooking. I was like, I don't know if I've ever seen a better performance than that.
Yo, shout out my guy Glenn. We went to karaoke not too long ago, and
Now you
he's a
guys doing karaoke again?
he's an artist, but he's an artist, so naturally he's a good performer. So he's like doing the songs, but he's performing at the same time. It was so entertaining, bro. And then someone played a Spanish song. He's Panamanian, so he knows some Spanish, but he didn't know the lyrics to this song. That was the funniest fucking thing you could think of, bro. And then he went and rode the bull in that comic place for 6 minutes, and I was like, that was different.
That's not a skill that you probably want to share or admit that
You
you
should have
have.
won like a prize, like a T-shirt or a
You
cowboy
did
hat.
win a prize. Probably not the prize you wanted to win.
Yo,
Probably
matter of
four.
fact, you know what people don't know is that so I didn't know this at first, but the chaps. Do you know why they wear chaps?
Isn't it for protection? Like
Yeah,
padding, chafing, all that good shit.
yeah, from your thighs on the horse.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it
Yeah,
was
but
like a domination thing growing up.
nah, to all you freaks out there, they also wear jeans.
Yeah, they wear
That's not
jeans.
just don't wear assless chaps and get on a horse.
Yeah, yeah.
What the
Nah, that's crazy.
Yo, the internet's free, B. This guy's worried he's gonna Google it. Safe search is gonna come on. It's gonna get flagged.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh man,
Come
yo,
on, bro. You should know that. You from Old West. You from the
no, I
Wild
know it
West.
now. I'm saying growing when I was a kid.
You learned that from Yellowstone?
No, I learned it from the prequel from 1883. because the daughter, the daughter had the Native Americans make her jeans or pants because she had a dress on always and like riding, and obviously that's super uncomfortable. So.
Yeah, that's crazy. You
Yeah.
can't have that shit just against a horse. I'm curious now about. So you said karaoke is the shy song. Walkout song. You said either DMX, Wildin' Out by the DMX. We right here, Wildin' Out by the Locks. If you had to pick one song that represented you, where you're like, you want to know about who I am, this is the song. What would you pick? I know it's a tough question,
That's a
but
very tough question.
I feel like the world needs to know.
It'd probably be that Vietnamese guy that sings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that shit is funny, bro. Yo, shout out to him. What happened to him?
You know what I you know what I remember about those videos is that I remember you like crying because you were sending those videos out. And I was like, I don't get it. Like, what's so funny about this?
He was dead serious. He was talented.
So, is that your answer, or you have a different
No,
answer?
that was I was just joking. I don't think I could just pick one off the top of my head right now. A song that represents who I am. No, I can't. I'd have to really think about that.
How
But
about a favorite song?
a favorite song?
Yeah, how about we do that? Were you able to pick one? And I know your favorite song could
No.
change because it might be based on
Yeah, it's
what you're
based
going
off the
through.
mood. Yeah, all that shit.
Yeah, and that's fine. Just at the moment.
The song that I could probably listen to at least once every day is "Blood Pressure" by Jada.
That's a great answer. Well, I got one. I'd probably say, and it's funny, we watched the music video while you were there, while I was in Connecticut. But you came up by
This is
Big
what
Pun.
represents you.
I don't know if sure if it represent me, but fuck it, why not? You came up by Big Pun. Number one, I love the song. But two, making it happen. But one of the lines he had was Latin's going platinum was destined to come. Right? Because he went platinum. But what that makes me think of whenever I hear it is like whatever shit was impossible is possible. And we had this guest speaker at work. I'm not sure if you got a chance to tune into it. He was from Disney. And he kept on saying something that was so simple but so profound, which is whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're probably right. And I'm like, damn, just the power of your mindset influences and impacts the end result so much. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're probably right. And so when I hear that song, I'm like, Latin's going platinum was destined to come. He knew he could, and it happened. So like whenever that, I'm like, damn, like my goal is not to go platinum. I don't make music, but whatever my goal is destined to come. It's gonna happen. It's not a rather if, it's just when is it gonna happen?
When,
And
yeah.
how much work am I willing to accelerate or decelerate something? So also I love that song. I think Punk killed it, and Nori on the chorus was fire, but
yeah. No,
gotta
that's a
bump
good
it.
song.
I got one more music question. And I just thought about this yesterday. What's one artist for you that you're like this? Whenever you listen to the music, like yo, this is just a vibe. Doesn't matter what track. Like it's just whenever you put it on, it's just a vibe. And I know you like right now. Your vibe is like chilling, kicking back with Scooby, smoking a cigar, having a nice drink. Like your ideal vibe. Like this is the artist I'm putting on when I'm trying to chill.
I think it depends on what vibe I want. If it's a chill vibe, like I actually got a cigar playlist, and there's a guy on there. He sings a song, and it's unorthodox. Let me look that up real quick. Something that always gives me a vibe is reggae, a reggae song. When we play dominoes, a reggae song comes on, I don't lose. It's impossible. So they refrain from playing it now. Impossible.
It's because you're just flowing. You're not even thinking at that point.
Yeah.
That's fact.
All right, I got it right here. His name is actually been putting a lot of people onto this guy. His name is Charles Bradley, and he sings a cover of Black Sabbath's "Changers." That song always gets me in the mood.
You show me the video. You
I
put that
did.
on when my dad was there, right?
Okay.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure you did. Yeah, that was fire.
Yeah. I put that on for a couple people who came and had a cigar. It's just one of those songs you can just. It's soulful, bro. So it touches the
Mm,
soul. And then I just sitting back, sipping some bourbon and enjoying a cigar. You just like appreciate the things you have because it's about changes. Like before he talked, they sang the song. I think Black Sabbath is probably about a female that he lost. But when
right.
he talks about when he sang about it, he said he thought about his last moments with his mom when she was passing
Yep.
away. So you kind of think about shit like that. But yeah, that's definitely one of those songs that just gets me in a vibe. It kind of sounds morbid and sad in a way, but it's not because of the way he sings it. I think is what.
Soulful.
Yeah.
You know, that's fire. So I got kind of two. So first one, and I remember saying this to my wife because she watches like a lot of baking videos. So this is like it's like a popular clipped
If
song that
you
people
name a
use.
K-pop song, I'm out of here.
K-pop, but Nat King Cole, number one. I mean, whenever you hear like "Tis Autumn in the Fall Time," like that shit just is a vibe. But of course, you know the chestnuts roasting over an open fire during Christmas.
I hate that song.
It's just his voice, bro. So soulful. But then also one of my favorite older songs is Frank Sinatra, "Summer Wind." Love that song.
What's it
Absolutely love
called?
that song. "Summer Wind" by Frank Sinatra.
I probably know, but I don't know. I'm terrible with titles and shit.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just such a vibe, bro. Like such a summertime vibe of just like how summer just goes by so fast, and you have all these experiences. Happens in 3 months, but it feels like a lifetime sometimes because you have so many experiences that happen, so many
Mm-hmm.
late nights, early mornings,
Mm-hmm.
constant going because you're trying to make the most of it, and then it's gone. It's here and it's gone. And so,
I definitely fuck with the summer shit. Like I fuck with Fab, like his
mm,
summertime shootout
yep,
mixtape. That shit, windows down and the breeze flowing. He got fire. You know,
I
this
love
should.
like timely and topical music like that though.
I wish well we should have had. He did want to be on the show, but I didn't think to call him was my brother, especially because he does karaoke.
Oh
Shout
boy.
out to Sexual Caramel out in Springfield,
Hotel California.
Hotel
Don't say Hotel
California fire.
California, bro.
Um,
Yo,
a change
yo.
is gonna come. Sam Cooke, fire.
Oh, fire. You think, bro, you gotta go to the Philippines. I know we talked about it last show, but I think I shared this story. Maybe we didn't. Maybe I didn't share it on the
No,
show, but
you
I
shared
definitely
this.
shared it with you. The karaoke over there is on a
Yeah,
whole nother level, bro. Like they got whole outside bar
yeah,
strips of bars.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
everyone, bro, on a Wednesday night, popping.
yeah.
Popping. And I'm not in Manila. I'm not in BGC. I'm not in any of these Makati. I'm not in any of these big cities, bro. I'm in a bigger city, but I'm not in all these ones that you know the Philippines for. And it's
Hmm.
popping, bro.
Yeah.
Bottle service. My uncle-in-law was like, yo, I waited to open up this bottle of Johnny Walker Blue, waited for you to get here. I'm like, what are you doing with this? Mommy, what are you doing with this Johnny Walker Blue? What are you doing with that, man? That's like a $200 something bottle. What you doing with that? I'm like, let me put you on to something different. But I'm like, this is crazy. Like the vibe out there is so crazy, bro. You
Yeah.
gotta go out there. When you go out there, let me know.
I actually watched a video on YouTube. It was in the UK though, and he's like a street performer, but he gets people involved. There's another guy in New York that does it too. I forgot his name, but the one in UK, they had a Filipino woman. Sometimes some people obviously they're not great, but they're having fun. They're out in the streets, so they had some of those. But this Filipino woman, she sang a Whitney Houston song, and she fucking bodied it. I was inspired. Like I almost started singing Whitney.
Yo,
But
it's in their blood, bro. It's in their blood. A lot of people don't know, but in the original Aladdin, not the voice of Jasmine, the person who sang Jasmine's part in A Whole New World, she's Filipino.
I didn't know that.
Hell yeah. She could
Who,
sing.
who was that?
I don't want to get her name wrong, so let me look it up. But Nona was the one who told me about it.
Yeah, that was fun. I actually want to do that again. I want to do that karaoke thing again. That was fun.
Leah Salonga. That's her name. Incredible, bro.
From
But yeah, you listen. You think you want to find some? I'm not even talking about like partner type shit. Just like karaoke vibes out there is incredible. I don't do karaoke, and I'm like, yo, I gotta grab the mic real quick and show them what it's about.
start singing
Put on
Drake.
my put on Shy. They wouldn't be ready for that, bro.
But
They
I'm
wouldn't be ready
ready
for that.
for time.
Woo! Yeah, man. But I love the fact that this all kind of tied together when we talk about music, art, also just expressing yourself. Some people express that through art. Some people express that through words, but in a song form. And so I think like it's just incredible how we're all human, but yet we're so diverse and different. And so I know we kind of talked about it before the show about like how can we get back to a place where people are just not so serious about when people make jokes or stuff like that. It's just like if you could be not be unbothered because you mentioned that like not caring what people think. I care what people think, but I don't care that much, right? Like you should have some kind of awareness of what people are saying because if enough people are saying the same thing about you, then there might be some sliver of truth to it. So you should kind of be aware of it, but you can't pay too much attention to it. And so I just think that that's one way we can get back to it. Is just expressing yourself, being honest with yourself, but then also sharing experiences, and then also like letting people know, like, yeah, man, it's okay to make a joke. It's okay to say things, right? You're not doing it ill will. Also, sometimes you just need to be able to laugh at the situation. That kind of diffuses some of the tenseness of it. Like,
Yeah.
listen, it is something that's funny, and it's okay. Ain't no problem with it. You know what I mean? It's only because of problem when you make it a problem. So
There's
listen,
a lot of people that can't communicate.
that's a fact. And they don't have any issues talking though. What did
Yeah.
Drake say? It's so funny how you talk all this shit and we still lack communication. Oh,
Mm,
I'm back. I'm back.
really bad.
Isn't it
Not
amazing?
as bad.
How you
Yo,
talk
I
all
took.
that shit and we still lack communication? Swinging.
He
Eyes
also said
closed,
something.
just
He said something
swinging.
fire on one of my favorite songs. He did with damn, what's that artist? I can't think of it off
Don't
the
say
top of
from
my head.
time, bro. Do not say
Huh?
from time.
Nah.
That's your favorite, one of your favorite freestyle beats of all
No, no,
time.
no, no. It was it's with the artist from Canada, Blue. But he said something like, "It's not what you say, it's what you don't say." Some shit like that.
Mm.
It's based off of communication.
I thought you were gonna say
Scooby.
it was the line where he was like, "I wish you would learn to love people and use things, and not the other way around."
Mm.
Mm. Swinging.
Scooby is knocked out. I took him for a walk. We went for a nice walk. It was 70 degrees out here. Yo,
Same people,
it's
same
crazy.
friends. If you're looking for me,
All right, we're good. We're good to go. He's on his third or fourth cup and he's singing Drake to me, and I don't want to hear it.
cup soda, Eagle Rare.
Wow.
Nah, I ain't doing that. I ain't trying to get into that place. Matt's room.
Yeah, you're done.
I'm all set.
He's all set, guys.
But shit, it's all good. All right, let me chill. You know what? But I did. You know what album I listened to when I was working from start to finish was More
Curtis Blow.
Life. Can we stop with the fucking Curtis Blow shit?
Well,
It's
what is
getting
that? I'm curious on what, because you said songs, they resonate with you. What does that bring to you?
what? That album?
Curtis Blow track.
Which
I'm
which
being
one
serious.
exactly? Which one exactly?
Like broken glass everywhere.
It doesn't bring anything to me because I don't listen to that song.
You do.
One, it's a monumental track, but I don't listen to it, so it doesn't bring anything to me. I don't know why you and Tone are so fixated on that. I
Because you
don't
had
know
it as a
how.
ringtone.
I don't know
Back
how
when
it came up.
songs weren't even being used for ringtones anymore.
Like, yo, we loaded up your 2K, and that was the only song you didn't have unchecked. Like, number one, you've never heard me listen to Curtis Blow. Number two, no disrespect to Curtis Blow, he's a legend. Number three, you never heard me listen to Curtis Blow, so I don't know where that
Yeah, we
came from.
did. We didn't make this up.
Maybe it's because I have Curtis Blow in my top 5. But sometimes you gotta pay respect to the legends. You know who said that? Guru. Oh wow. Okay.
Go ahead. You were saying something before I rudely interrupted you.
You did really interrupt me. I don't even remember what I was saying. Swangin'. Oh, I was listening. I listened to
Oh, More Life.
More Life. You know what song is fire as shit on that
What?
album? He has an interlude with Georgia Smith, and then he goes into I forget the name of the song. It's the song right after the interlude, where it's mainly her just singing. She could fucking sing, bro.
There's a lot of talented people. Like I was thinking about it when I was at the high
There's a
school
song with
game.
Thames on there too. Thames is nasty.
And Thames is fire. She's a phenomenal artist.
Yo, so you know the album, John Legend's debut album. It was Get Lifted.
No, I didn't really fuck with John Legend.
Are you crazy?
I know people say that, but I never really fucked with John
His
Legend.
first shit is fire. Get Lifted. So he released last year a 20th anniversary version of it. And do you know his song Ordinary People?
Yeah.
Super. So he got a remix on there with Thames. Yo, she killed it. Yo, listen to that shit. She can sing, bro. He also has a remix of another song with Black Dot on it. That's how I found the project. But then I listened to that shit. I saw Thames on a remix. I'm like, here we go. This shit is fire.
Fire.
She bodied it,
Yeah.
bro.
Nah, she's phenomenal. Yeah.
We'll leave it at that, though. I appreciate y'all for always tuning in, showing love to the pod. Like Quan said, the mics are open. It's easier than ever now to hop on an episode of Infamously Speaking.
It's an open invite.
It's an open invite. It's literally
Everybody got something to say till they got something to say.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So if you got some shit to say, hop on the show, speak your truth, and let that be that. Make sure subscribe, like the podcast, leave a rating wherever you listen, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and as always, think critically, speak infamously. Come on, man.